You walk into a room, say something, and it feels like your words just disappear into the air. No reaction, no engagement, maybe a polite nod at best. You send a message, and it gets seen but not replied to. You try to join a conversation, but somehow you're always on the outside looking in. It's frustrating, confusing, and if it happens enough, it starts to feel personal, like there's something about you that people just overlook. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of the time, people aren't ignoring you because they dislike you. They're ignoring you because, in that moment, you're not giving them a reason to pay attention. It's just how human attention works. Attention is one of the most valuable resources in the world. Every single day, people are bombarded with information, notifications, conversations, and distractions. Your brain is constantly filtering what matters and what doesn't. And most of that filtering happens automatically. People don't sit there consciously deciding to ignore you. Their brain simply doesn't register you as a priority in that moment. So what determines whether someone pays attention? It comes down to a few psychological triggers. The first is emotional impact. People pay attention to what makes them feel something. If what you say feels flat, predictable, or low energy, it gets filtered out, not because it's bad, but because it doesn't stand out. Think about it. When someone speaks with energy, curiosity, or confidence, you naturally lean in. There's something about their presence that pulls you in. But when someone speaks in a monotone voice, avoids eye contact, or seems unsure of themselves, your brain quietly shifts away, not out of disrespect, but out of instinct. This brings us to the first big reason people ignore you: low perceived presence. If you don't seem fully engaged, others won't feel the need to engage with you either. Presence isn't about being loud or dominant. It's about being there fully aware, fully involved, and communicating that through your body language, your tone, and your focus. Another major reason is over-explaining. It sounds counterintuitive, but the more you try to make people understand you, the more likely they are to tune out. Long, drawn-out explanations drain attention. People prefer clarity and simplicity. If you take too long to get to the point, their mind moves on before you even finish. There's also the issue of seeking validation. When you constantly look for approval, it shows in subtle ways. Hesitation in your voice, adding unnecessary disclaimers, or ending statements like questions. This signals uncertainty, and people are less likely to engage with someone who doesn't seem confident in what they're saying. But here's where it gets deeper. Sometimes people ignore you because they've unconsciously categorized you as background. Not important, not influential, not someone they need to pay close attention to. And once that label is formed, it tends to stick. Not because it's true, but because people rarely update their perceptions unless something forces them to. So how do you change that? You don't do it by trying harder to be liked. You do it by becoming harder to ignore. Start with how you speak. Cut out unnecessary words. Say what you mean clearly and directly. Silence is powerful. When you're not rushing to fill every gap, people start paying more attention to what you do say. Next, work on your delivery, your tone, your pace, your eye contact. These things matter more than the actual words. Speak like you expect to be heard. Not aggressively, not arrogantly, but with certainty. Even if you don't feel confident, act as if your words have value, because if you don't believe that, no one else will. Another powerful shift is learning to listen strategically. Most people think being heard is about talking more. It's not, it's about understanding what others care about and connecting your words to that. When people feel understood, they naturally start paying more attention to you. There's also a counterintuitive trick. Stop trying to engage everyone. When you try to please or connect with everyone, your energy gets diluted. Instead, focus on meaningful interactions with a few people. When others see that you're not chasing attention, your perceived value increases. And then there's boundaries. If people consistently ignore you and you keep showing up the same way, you're reinforcing that behavior. Sometimes the fix is not to push harder, but to pull back, reduce your availability. Speak less, but with more intention. When your presence becomes less constant, it becomes more noticeable. But let's address something important. Not every situation is worth fixing. Some environments are simply not aligned with you. Some people are too distracted, too self-focused, or just not interested. And that's okay. Trying to win attention in the wrong place is exhausting and unnecessary. The goal is not to be noticed by everyone. The goal is to be valued by the right people. And that starts with how you see yourself. If you believe you're easy to ignore, that belief will shape your behavior. It will show up in your posture, your tone, your choices. But when you start seeing yourself as someone worth listening to, that shift changes everything. Because people don't just respond to what you say, they respond to how you carry yourself, to the signals you send without even realizing it. So the next time you feel ignored, don't immediately assume something is wrong with you. Instead, ask yourself a better question. Am I communicating in a way that invites attention? Am I present, clear, and confident? Or am I blending into the background without realizing it? Because once you understand the psychology behind attention, you stop taking it personally, and you start taking control of how you show up. And when that happens, something interesting changes. You don't need to chase attention anymore. It starts coming to you naturally.